I'd like to invite YCT's chair of pastoral counseling and someone who literally wrote the book on rabbinic training around these issues. I'd like to invite our Rebbe, Dr. Michelle Friedman, who's going to share with us now some thoughts, perhaps some reflections on, Michelle, on what you've been hearing this morning, and then to share with us how we take this. We had a rabbinic call a few days ago with some of our alumni where we spoke about moving from a sense of inaction, paralysis to action in some way. What do we do? What do we do right now, Michelle, with the sense of pain? How do we acknowledge that? And then how do we move on?
Okay, thank you for this opportunity. I have about 5 to 7 minutes, and I'm going to talk about 5 points. And they're going to be on a much more personal, local level. So I'm going to start with the basics, and it's going to build on what, thank you to the people who spoke before in such poignant language. But I'm going to start with the basics. And some of this comes from our experience after 9/11, after other great tragedies. But one of the basics is we're at the end at week one, the beginning of week two. And as Mish said, there is so much ahead. One of the basic advice that is given to both adults and certainly to children is limit your news intake. Decide what you're going to listen to, what you're going to read, what you're going to watch, and keep it to that. And I want to make a special point about visual images. Trauma porn, which is available on the internet, will not help you be more effective, I don't think. And I believe it's a desecration of the people from whom those visual images are taken. So point number one is curate your news intake. That doesn't mean don't look at other people's writing, but keep it in bounds. The second point, as was said so well, this is a long-term situation. All of us have been absorbed in the news. We've been glued to our phones. I've written to, I think, everybody I ever met in Israel. We've been going to gatherings, demonstrations, saying Tehillim, doing all kinds of stuff. We have to plan of how we can sustain our caring over the long haul, how we can continue our daily lives and maintain regular contact with folks in Israel who are so incredibly grateful for our support. I can't believe how, I wrote to people that I've met once, that I participated in a colloquium, that we, our family was privileged to give money to support, and they wrote back within minutes sometimes, thanking us. I couldn't believe, I was humiliated, almost humbled by getting thanks from people who are on the ground in Israel. So my third point is kind of a continuation. Decide on a regular action or actions and stick with them. Put on your calendar the day of the week that you're going to write to, whatever it is, whatever your frequency is with the people that you don't know so well, but you've established some kind of communication with. Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, whatever it is. I'm writing to X people, and keep at it. And so too with organizations. Staying in touch with people as the situation unfolds, responding to their needs, just letting them know that we're here and that we're thinking about them. Don't feel like because you're here and safe, it doesn't matter. It really does matter. Send clips, voice recordings of gatherings you go to Tehillim that you went to, stuff like that. The point that I want to actually spend the most time on, and this kind of goes with the solidarity that Mish talked about, plan ahead. I'm sure many of you have already been here for difficult conversations. Whatever your politics are regarding Israel, regarding Palestinian rights, wherever you are in that spectrum, you are going to be pulled in very painful and powerful ways. I know I have already had some very difficult conversations with even well-meaning colleagues and antagonistic people. And whether it's about making equivalencies, about suffering, about the pogrom, about the opposite, about racist, Islamophobic comments. We are all going to hear it, and as the war progresses, it's going to get louder and worse. And for conversations with people that you care about, who could be the person in the street, it could be a relative, it could be a work colleague, that people that you want to have a conversation with and want to further, there are endless number of websites that can guide you. And I encourage everybody to Google difficult conversations. I could go over that here, but we don't have the time. The basic principles seem really simple. We know them. Listen. Do not interrupt or talk over the person that you're talking with. Try to understand how they feel. And I'm talking about from whichever direction they're coming from. Try to understand how they feel, why they feel, where they're coming from, and stay calm. But I also want to say very clearly, know if and when you need to stop a conversation, because you just can't go further. And you have to calmly say something like, I'm glad we spoke, and I need to stop for now. But I think difficult conversations is really one of the most important places. You know, this has been true in all kinds of movements. People need to have conversations with people that they don't agree with. That is how we're going to express solidarity. Talking in an echo chamber of the people we know and already agree with supports us and maybe gives us the strength to go out there and have difficult conversations. I have people in my office, 22-year-old kid on her first job. She's the only committed Jew in the place. She came to her session with a gym bag in hand because she had to go to an outing, with her firm. And she was like completely confused how to be. Now that may be a kind of mild thing, but having really painful conversations and knowing how to stick with it is really what I'm talking about. The last point that I want to make is you got to enjoy daily life. There are many weddings today. There were bar and bat mitzvahs yesterday. There is birthday parties for little kids. We have concert tickets. There are plays going on in Israel. We need to go on with daily life in order to be effective. That doesn't mean that we forget what's going on or that we have to have vast pains of guilt because we actually laughed at a joke or felt simcha for a chatan and kala. But we need to use that energy, that positive life force, to help propel us onward into action. I just want to close with saying what we all know. This is not ending soon. This is going to get deeper and longer, and we need to all figure out ways how to sustain ourselves so we can help others. Thank you for the opportunity to speak.